There's going to be another attempt at chroming a piece myself using the silvering process, the chrome spray. It's from Angel Gilding. This bezel is a plastic piece from a 64 through 65 Mustang. Take off everything, lenses included, and just stay with the bare plastic. I used 409 oven cleaner, the yellow can, to spray on here. Left it on for a few minutes before I wiped off the paint and chrome, and with the toothbrush and a rag. This is how it came out. The dark spots, I then used some sandpaper, like 600, to kind of roughen it up so the base coat and primer can stick on pretty well. After cleaning the part well, I put on some primer, let it dry for about 24 hours before putting on a couple coats of black paint, and 30 to 40 minutes later followed with the 2K clear coat to get the gloss you want to get. You need to have a smooth and glossy finish. It's important to get that silver effect, the chrome effect. So then you let this dry for another 24 hours before trying the chroming process. What I'm doing here now is another process where it's called flaming. The point of this is to take the blue flame from a propane torch, and the tip of the blue flame, it has to be about an inch away from what I read and what I was told through email, that it has to be about an inch away from the piece that you're going to chrome. So what this does, it causes some kind of chemical effect to get the paint ready to accept the silver and all the metals that want to stick to it, you know? So this is a very important step. You know, I've yet to perfect this. I've yet to get it right. I still keep getting black spots on the edges, but this is supposed to help to eliminate all that so you get a really good finish. But what I was doing here is after I primed it, painted it, and then put down the base coat, clear coat, because I'm gonna have a glossy finish. I tried this the next day. I washed off the part with distilled water. You got to use distilled water. I washed it off, dried it off with an air hose and then compressor, and then did this, the flaming. You know, I tried it. Like I said, I've yet to get it right, but the results are pretty well, as you'll see. But right here, I'm just doing the piece. What you see is when you're passing a flame over it, you'll see kind of like the chemical process they're talking about take effect. I'll show another clip to demonstrate this a little better, but right here, that's basically what I'm doing, and just trying to get it ready so all the stuff you're going to put on it sticks, and you'll avoid what I got, which is black spots. I think it's a drying process where I'm getting it wrong. I'm not sure yet. So here's another clip, another piece I was working on as well, where you could see the effect a little better. So what you're going to do here is you pass the flame of the propane torch, you know, the blue tip, you want it to be about an inch away. And then when you're passing it side to side, you don't want to keep it too long. You don't want to heat up the item. That's not the point. The point is just to get that chemical reaction, and you're gonna see it here. Sorry, I'm kind of holding it off screen. You know, I'll move it down a little bit a little later, but when you're passing the flame over, you're gonna see kind of like the heat hitting the item you painted, and you're gonna see the effect, and that's the effect you want to get when trying to flame the piece, get it ready. I believe it's called ionization. But, you know, whatever it's called, this is the effect you're trying to get. This is what's gonna allow the chemicals you spray on it to stick a little better, from what I understand. So it did help in one of the items. In this item in particular, it helped a bit. But I think my biggest problem was when, after I clear coated it the first time to get the base, you know, the smooth glossy finish before you start the process, I just let it dry. I let it dry outside. I didn't bake it anywhere. And I really think that's the problem. To me, that's the problem. I'm going to try getting myself like an oven outside or something, and you know, baking the the clear coated item, so you know, maybe it dries, maybe it's not drying enough, I don't know, because it's not sticking all perfect for me, so like I want it to. It's usually on the edges where I'm getting the problem. So this is what you want to try. One of the steps you want to try before you do the silvering process, the spray chrome. That's what they call it, but it's just a chemical silver process. In this step, you're going to be using the wetting agent. It's a brown liquid that you mix with distilled water. Like every other chemical you use with this kit, you want to only use distilled water. Don't use tap water. So here you just want to completely soak the part you're going to chrome in this wetting agent. This is what the next chemical will stick to. So this is very important that you get every corner, every thing you want chromed. Get it with this. Use a cotton ball here just to get the parts that were kind of difficult to get to with the spray. Kind of make sure I soak it all so that the sensitizer, which is the next chemical, is going to be, you know, that sticks well, because the silver that gives you the chrome effect is going to stick to the sensitizer. So that's what I'm going to apply here. That here is the sensitizer. That's, you know, you're going to leave it on for 30 seconds after you finish spraying it. Don't rinse it off before that. Just spray it completely, cover it. Make sure, you know, that it's beating, it doesn't beat up. It just smoothly comes off, and that's how you know it's working. So it won't beat up like water. After the wetting agent and sensitizer, you want to rinse it off at least 30 seconds, and no less than 30 seconds after. You want to rinse it off using distilled water. Here I'm using it in a spray gun, just so it can come out with, you know, you gotta like really wash it off. Then you want to spray the chemical, the silver chemical. It's a 2-part spray. I have a bottle here with dual chambers, so it holds 2 chemicals at once. But once you start spraying it is when you start seeing the results, you know. Once you spray it all around, you'll slowly see it starting to catch the silver. So just keep spraying it everywhere. Try everywhere you wanted it, you know, that you sprayed the sensitizer and wetting agent is where you want to spray this chrome, because that's what it's going to stick to. So this is why it was important for you to make sure that you got every little part of you know, every little section that you didn't miss anything, because this is where you want the silver to stick to. So just keep spraying it every little while. You don't want to leave it on there too long, because if you spray too much, you'll get like a cloudy effect. So you want to keep rinsing it off like I'm doing here, which it almost fell. But just, you know, if you see that you missed anything, or one part didn't catch the silver, try spraying it after you rinsed it off. Keep rinsing it off over and over, and you know, you can't do it enough. You can't spray too much distilled water. You just want to keep rinsing the part so you don't get any kind of discoloration or dulling of the item. But this is what the results you want to get. This is why it was important to start off with a smooth and glossy finish, because however nice it looks when you start off, that's how it's going to look when you finish. And I'm not a professional painter. I'm not, you know, this is just, I'm learning too, so it doesn't come out perfect for me either. So here what you want to do after you're done is you want to air it off. You want to use, I'm using here the compressor to a blowgun to air gun to just take off all the chemical. You don't want it puddling up, because that also gives you, could give you dulling or discoloration. So here you just want, that's what you want to do, is you want to just blow it all off, dry it up, and it starts looking really well. So I'm finished with this item. I wanted to show that, you know, I'm still getting where the silver's not sticking around the edges. The chrome parts actually came out really good. You know, obviously this process works because you get the desired effect here, where you can see my reflection, my hand's reflection on the parts that are supposed to be chrome. The parts that look grainy, they're supposed to be like that. This is this Mustang Bezel. It's like a camera case finish where it's all grainy, so that's usually black anyway. It doesn't have to be chrome. But the smooth parts were right here on the edges is where you see, you know, the silver didn't catch, so you can still see kind of like the black from underneath. Overall, I'm very happy with it. Like I said, the process works. I'm sure it's user error. Something I'm doing isn't being done right. I'm not waiting a certain amount of time or something. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what I'm doing. I think right now I'm thinking it's to my, you know, curing process. So I'm gonna see if I could fix that. But once I fix that, hopefully, you know, I can get it working better and get better results. So here is the end result. I mean, you can see on the edges where it's, you know, the silver didn't catch, but I mean, overall, I think it came out great. I think it came out very nice, way better than it was already faded. You know, basically no chrome on there. All I got to do now is, you know, you would have to scratch up all the parts you want to paint. Not scratch up, but, you know, kind of sand it down, roughen it up just so you can paint those parts. But I want to restore. I'm in the process of restoring my Mustang. You know, first I got to get it started. I want to get it started. It hadn't been started since 2010, so I want to do everything myself. Well, as much as I can, anyway. You know, anything I can do myself, I will. From painting the car to rechroming my pieces, my dash. I want to do whatever I can on my own. So that's what I'm in the process of doing. I have another video I just released before this where I'm finally getting back to work on it for the first time in years. It's been parked since 2010, my 68 Mustang, and I want to get it going. And I want to put a, you know, deluxe dash with a wood grain, maybe a black wood grain. You know, I want to design, you know, customize it, not design it, but customize it myself. So I mean, I think these are great results. These are other pieces right here that I did also, but you know, it's doable. Before I tried spray cans, all that stuff, no, you know, nothing comes out looking like this. I just gotta get it right. So I'm gonna keep working on it, and hopefully in time it's gonna come out a lot better. Here's a few other pieces I did for a 68 Mustang. The black spots, those are gonna get covered with overlays anyway, smoothed out and covered. And then I'm gonna spray a 2K like I did here for the 65 piece. And this is a few days later. What you see is I had sprayed the protective 2K clear over it to protect the silver, and it turned kind of yellow, so I got to add more with the blue or violet tint. So I'm going to be working on this till I get it right, because eventually I'm going to use this to restore my Mustang. So I thank you for watching. I have other videos I'm going to be putting out regarding my Mustang, my 68. I'm going to bring her back to life, and she's going to get going, and you know, I'm gonna be happy. But until then, let me know if you've ever worked on a process like this, because you know, these imperfections, even though right here they don't look as bad, when you add the 2K clear over it to protect it, it actually amplifies how bad it looks. It looks much worse to me. You know, the yellowing is one thing, because you could offset that with a little blue or violet. You know, you just got to get it right. But these black spots, not the ones in the middle, but on the edges, when you put the clear over it to protect it, it actually amplifies how bad it looks. It looks a lot worse, and you know, when I get this right, you know, if it's gonna look awesome. But until then, if anybody knows how to avoid those on the edges, let me know. Please leave it in the comments. I'm learning. I'm not professional by any means, so I'm just trying to restore my car and get it running once again and looking good.